Well, welcome everyone to Steve Savant's Money, the name of the game. I'm your host, Steve Savant, syndicated financial columnist and money-colored commentator. On today's show, Making the Most of Legacy Gifts, part one of our series on the economic impact of life insurance, with best-selling author, popular platform speaker, and nationally recognized retirement expert, Tom Hegna. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Hey, great to be here, Steve.
Tom, we're talking about life insurance, and usually I put that in the indemnification, protection, coverage, young people, middle class, maybe in my Gen X, Gen Y, in my 50s. But you're talking about there's really big economic reasons to do this for seniors.
Yeah, everybody thinks that when they get old, they won't need life insurance anymore, that the house will be paid off, but it isn't, that the kids would move out, but they aren't, and that the 401k would make them rich, but they're not. And so if you think about it, you know who buys the biggest policies? It's old rich people that buy the biggest policies, and people over the age of 60 buy more life insurance than people under the age of 60.
I find that remarkable. And we're not just talking about final expense life insurance. We're talking about real policies, sizable policies.
Yes, so I've written all these books on how to be happy in retirement, and one of the things I talk about is how to pass that happy factor on to your children and grandchildren. And the very best way to pass wealth to children, grandchildren, and charities is with life insurance. So let me give you a simple example. We met with Annie. Annie was 62 years of age. She had $100,000 sitting in a CD. She said, Tom, I don't need this money. This is my just-in-case money. It wasn't earning very much. She didn't care. She had named her 6 grandchildren as beneficiary. So when she died, each of them would get $16,666. Well, that's a nice grandma. But if it's her just-in-case money, my question is, why leave that in a CD or a bank account? Why not leave that in a life insurance policy? Because now these life insurance policies, many times for seniors, have a full money-back guarantee. So many of the policies are liquid for seniors. But look what happens. When she dies, each of the grandchildren get $36,000 instead of $16,000. So if you want to leave your grandchildren more money, don't leave them money, leave them life insurance.
Now, you always talk about, because you use this phrase always, let's optimize retirement. Right. This is the optimization of dollar for dollar. This is buying money at discounted rates.
Yes, it's how to get the most for the least. And I use myself as an example. I got 4 children. So we were sitting around one time, we said, well, how much should we leave to the kids? Well, I don't know, but if we bought a $1 million second to die policy, that would leave them each $250,000 tax-free. So I said, let's start there. So we bought a $1 million second to die life insurance policy. You know what the total cost of that policy was? $150,000. So now think about this. For 15 cents on the dollar, we were able to transfer $1 million tax-free to our children. Now, who gets to spend the other $850,000? We do. See, it's all about how can you get the most for the least, and how can you use the least amount of dollars to do the most with those dollars. And when it comes to leaving money, life insurance is the most efficient way to do that.
And of course, this is twice the amount that she was going to leave, and that's tax-free.
Over twice the amount. Now, let me show you another one. So what about charitable giving? A lot of people, they want to give money to charity. So let me introduce you to Al and Helen. Al and Helen are very charitably minded. They tithe to their church. They give to their university. They saved up $50,000 they want to give to charity. But as they discussed it, they each wanted to give $50,000. Now, how do you each give $50,000? How do you give $100,000 if all you got is $50,000? You put that $50,000 in a life insurance policy. It immediately creates $100,000 of gifting power. See, you want to leave more money to charity. Don't leave the charity money. Leave them life insurance, because you can leave them so much more. And that second to die policy we talked about, where it pays on the second death, that can leave even more.
Now, Tom, I've noticed there's a lot of people, very benevolent, have a big heart, but they have small wallets. This could be the answer.
Absolutely. And again, I'm showing a lump sum. People can do this with $100 a month or $50 a month or $25 a month. So you can do it either on a monthly basis, you could do it with a lump sum. My whole point is that life insurance gives you leverage. It's the leverage of life insurance for giving money to children, grandchildren, and charities.
Now, if I'm going to be giving a legacy, of course, I want to make sure I'm an approved IRS nonprofit. And I also want to make sure that this is the kind of charities that we want to see go on into perpetuity once we're gone.
Right.
So once you make those decisions and you know what your cash flow is, either on a monthly basis or a single deposit, you can do this and really leverage life insurance.
Now, some people like to give money like to a university and get their name on a building or something. Some of these places will let you put your name on the building. If you buy a policy and it's fully paid up and you name the university as the owner and the beneficiary, they will credit that amount of death benefit as your gift and put you, so $1 million, donation to get your name on a building might only cost you $150,000. So you put in the $150,000, boom, you get your name on a $1 million type gift for the building. So it depends on the charity, but that's another way to do it.
I want to ask you, because in this first example we gave, it was grandma. Maybe she was all alone. But when we're talking about a married couple, the life insurance industry has created about 30 years ago this product called Second to Die.
Right.
Now, life insurance as a standalone for one person is already a great leverage idea. But now we're talking about Second to Die. Tom, how does that work, and why is that even better?
Yeah, because it covers both lives. It doesn't pay until both people die, which means for the insurance company, it's likely one of them will live longer, so they can make the premiums lower, they can make it a better deal, because they don't have to pay until the second death. The first death, there's no death benefit, but the second one. And for couples, that makes sense, because like when we're leaving money to our children, we're only going to do that when we both die, because when I die, it goes to my wife. But if she dies, then that would go to the kids. And so a second to die makes sense in many cases like that. It can make sense in business cases. It can make sense in estate planning cases, in charity, for children. There's many ways that second to die policy can give great leverage.
Okay, so if I'm married, I need to look at Second to Die. Now, I've seen some of the health issues. Some people, even on a Second to Die, it seems like some people don't have to be perfect health.
Right. So there are many cases where somebody's uninsurable. Maybe they had a heart attack, maybe they had cancer, and they can't buy a policy. But on a Second to Die policy, many companies will take that risk because they're going to underwrite it on the healthiest person anyway. So they're going to underwrite it on the healthiest because it only pays when the healthiest person, after both of them die, and they're assuming that the unhealthy person would die first. So if the healthy person is healthy, they can still get that Second to Die policy.
Okay, so we're not going to eliminate ourselves if we don't have perfect health.
Right.
We could still get insurance placed on us. And again, I like what you're saying. Let's take care of our legacy. Let's take care of our children, the people, our profits, our nonprofits. Let's take care of all that for right now so that everything that I have left, I'm living on.
Right.
I think that is a powerful tool, especially today with boomers going into retirement with a mortgage,
right,
with LTC commitments to their parents. I mean, there's a lot of bills here.
All the things that people were told haven't happened. Their house would be paid off, it's not. The kids would be out, they're not. The 401k would make them rich, they're not. And so people do need life insurance. Now, let me give you one other idea, and that is protecting Social Security benefits. We've done shows here where we talk about Social Security benefits. So let me give you an example. Let's say that the husband gets $2,000 a month and the wife's getting $1,000 a month from Social Security. Well, if the husband dies, what happens? Well, she gets his, but what happens to hers? It's gone. Can she live on just one Social Security check? And if not, that's where life insurance could have protected that. You can buy, there's also policies called a First to Die, where you insure both the husband and wife, and then when the first one dies, there's a death payment. And First to Die works real well on protecting Social Security benefits because you don't know who's going to die first. Normally the man does, but not always. And you could cover both of them, and then the first to die, there's the death benefit paid to replace the Social Security check.
I think if you ask most middle-class Americans, they say, could I live with a reduction in my Social Security? The answer would be no.
Yeah.
And number two, we're talking about something that happens 87% of the time to females. So we already know going in that they're the ones that are probably, statistically, going to be the survivors. And I'm thinking, I lose an exemption, I lose Social Security, what's going to help take care of me? So this is now becoming almost a woman's issue.
Yeah, well, life insurance is a women's issue. We're going to talk about that in another show down the road. My point in all of this is that seniors can use life insurance to protect each other. I'll tell you another thing. A lot of seniors live a diminished retirement because they're worried when the man dies, if he's got the pension, then she gets a reduced pension. So they live a diminished retirement because they're trying to make sure they got enough money in case he dies. Well, the simple solution to that is buy a life insurance policy on the person who the pension is, and then go on and live your retirement. And if the person does die, then there's money to help the surviving spouse.
I don't think most people think about this transition from being a couple to a single person. And I think those exposures, and we're just showing one, Social Security, it's a big issue. And this is a great way to use life insurance to take care of that gap. It's going to happen.
Right.
It's just, let's take care of it.
And Social Security is one of them, but pension is another one. Sometimes they're using money out of a portfolio. That could be a third one. So life insurance can fix that gap.
Well, don't forget to watch our next segment, The Uninsured Among Us, part 2 of our series on the economic impact of life insurance. And keep in mind, before moving forward with any of the ideas on our show, always check with your tax consultant, legal counsel, or financial advisor. You've been watching Steve Savant's Money.